Today I want to get into people saying that Scooter Braun announced Jung Kook won't do a reunion. Suga cries over the fact that the reunion is uncertain, and then Jimin was spotted having a quote-unquote attitude given to him. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, tastefully mug merch, and let's go. Something you guys may not know is that I struggle with my hair. My hair has always been very thin lately, and I think it's due to stress, and so I've actually been losing a lot. When the middle part hair became a bit more trendy, it was even harder for me because my hair wasn't really ever that thick, and then I also bleached it a ton, so I was scared it would be too thin. And that's exactly what my barber even said, which was that I was losing a lot. So I've been using MD hair now, and there's been even comments of people saying, I have no idea what you've been doing with your hair, but it's better. And that's because there's more of it. So MD Hair is sponsoring today's video, but definitely a product and topic I am very passionate about. There's a quiz online that everyone can take to get a customized regimen and products to buy. You can also take a photo and they use AI to analyze it, and it will break down at what stage of hair loss you are at. So when I started, I was at stage 3 and it's slightly better now. Hair loss is a bit of a journey, so this is not an overnight treatment and something you do need to stick with for a few months and you will notice results. I would recommend getting a kit. This is the 360-degree treatment. This has their best products and will guarantee you have everything you need. The kit comes with collagen mix, shampoo and conditioner, serum to use, and some supplements. You will also receive a one-on-one chat with a medical professional if you have any concerns and questions. The most crazy part is I was able to secure a great deal for you guys. If you use code DUMPLINGS at checkout, you will get 70% off your first month of products. So that is just amazing. So please check them out in the description and thank them for sponsoring today's video. Recently, we've seen Jimin continue to do bits and pieces of his promotion, and it's actually very cool. I was very excited about all the things he has been doing and been loving that he hasn't just completely stepped away, because it's very easy for once an artist is done with their promotion and after their single drops to just leave, especially if they're not doing huge tours or any of that sort of thing. Jimin was doing some meet and greets with fans, and meet and greets have changed a lot. Labels have found that people are more willing to meet via a webcam and talk to their idols like that, and are willing to pay for that. And it's because it's less nerve-wracking. It's just easier to have your question prepared, and labels realize it's easier to control the narrative and the idol's image. So when idols are at traditional meet and greets, they could say something or accidentally touch the fan and suddenly it's a big scandal. Whereas this doesn't exist via live stream. The second thing that is less of an issue is that idols don't have to travel or tour to go to different cities to do these meet and greets. It's done with the convenience of everyone and definitely cheaper on the label. Labels also used to offer these meet and greets as a sort of raffle or reward for if you buy an album. So every 100 albums or whatever it is will have a ticket for a meet and greet or a lottery ticket for a meet and greet. But these tickets were always only limited to certain cities, so only albums in that city would have that opportunity, as that was one of the few cities that would have the artist come. Now, labels don't have to worry about that and open the opportunity for a meet and greet globally, and you just have to worry about waking up in time to meet them. Jimin was finishing up his meet and greet and got to the last person. He read the name and was somewhat excited that it was a Korean person. Before Jimin could even fully react to the name and the person, Jimin realized it was Suga. Suga appeared to give support, and Suga immediately told Jimin that they both had no time and things needed to be sped up. You only get a few minutes with the idols during these things, and Suga didn't want to be the exception to be treated differently. But obviously he would be treated differently because he is something that Jimin actually knows personally. And Suga asked Jimin as the time was running out to do a song and a little dance. Jimin didn't really seem like he wanted to do it, and Suga insisted that Jimin do it. And then Suga and Jimin talked about possibly getting into a controversy over a bad attitude after the video was posted because Suga is being too demanding and Jimin is refusing to do fan service. I think this is absolutely hilarious, and it's funny because obviously the members are allowed to give each other attitude or be a little less formal with each other. This is because they're obviously family and they know that they're not going to be offended if they act that way with each other. But what is not great is that the fandom or some fans often think that the quote-unquote rude behavior is tied to secret jealousy or just really bad things, all of which are definitely not true. I love their interactions. I often love to check out moments where Suga and Jimin interact, as well as Taeyang and Jung Kook interactions. So I do watch and react to many of these moments over on Patreon. We all have such a fun time fangirling and reacting to these moments. So if you're interested in joining the Dumpling family in reacting to these moments, I will link the Patreon in the description. We do currently have a $1 tier with limited spots, so I hope to see you there. People are already making theories and assumptions that Jungkook won't be joining the BTS reunion. And it's like, no, he already said that he would. This makes no sense. People think that Jungkook sees the success of his own career. He is going to want to do more solo stuff. And others have gone as far as to continuously say, since Jungkook is not the one reporting on coming back together, they want to wait until Jungkook says something before believing that he will actually come together. And again, he has actually said that he cannot wait for the BTS reunion and that everyone's energies are going to be a lot stronger. And it comes from this narrative that they want Jungkook to leave the group and they think that Jungkook is much better without all the other members. And this is such a toxic mentality to have. I don't understand how you can hate other members so much that you would wish Jungkook to leave, the thing that makes him the most comfortable and happy. And these people live in such a delusion where they literally believe that Jungkook hates the other members and that them wishing Jungkook leave is actually wishing good things. It was reported recently that Scooter Braun has been looking for other companies to buy so that HYBE can merge with them. That way HYBE can further expand and become this huge label. And then outside of that, the article talks about how Bang PD and Scooter have been excited about the opportunity to create this massive BTS tour, and that Jungkook is also more than excited to rejoin the group and is 100% behind the group's future plans to have a tour and all that. There have been some comments saying that this is all media play and that they want to hear what Jungkook has to say about this and not what is written in the media, claiming that Jungkook knows what is best for him and is going to opt to do what is best for him and not the other members. Now don't get me wrong, Jungkook has talked about wanting to go on tour. This is definitely a fact. He has mentioned in an interview that he has no plans of going on tour but could potentially be in the talks about it. However, that could potentially make no sense for him to do, as in if he doesn't have enough time after his solo, he will probably just go and enlist before doing any sort of tour. And there's no reason to do the tour after the military. But I guess people are trying to say that Jungkook should not enlist and just focus on his own career. But I think people are forgetting not only that Jungkook going back to the group and doing all that is something that he also believes is best for him and what he wants to do. BTS has made him into the man that he is today. No one can deny that. And then also the literal culture of Korean people and Asian people is to think collectively, not think just for themselves. Jungkook thinking the fans will be happier when he is in BTS, Jungkook thinking the other members would be too, would all be things that he would take into consideration when he is deciding whether or not he wants to be with the group. People also think that Scooter saying that they're looking for more acquisitions and working on Jungkook's solo promotion would eventually be Scooter telling Jungkook to go permanently solo. But this is not the case, and I'm sure Scooter could see that the group is much stronger than the individual members. You can tell how much it means for each member for the members to actually one day actually come back together. In the talk show that Suga has been doing called Sujita, Suga talked about him getting very emotional over the members reuniting. He talks about the time when he literally broke down and cried because BTS's future was very uncertain. During the episode, Suga talked about how when during the pandemic hit and all the concerts were canceled, Suga found himself crying in front of his parents for the first time ever. Now, this action of crying over a canceled concert wouldn't make any sense unless Suga was full-heartedly devoted to being successful with BTS. The reason why this would even hurt would be because he is unsure of whether or not the label would want BTS to continue and if BTS would be able to continue as a group without being able to do shows. The thing that made this very hard for all the members is that none of them knew if the BTS boys would be able to tour again. And definitely before the pandemic, the majority of the boys' income and contribution to HYBE was the tours. So there became a lot in the air, and Suga was probably very upset over if BTS had to disband at that point. The boys back a few years before the pandemic had even talked about how they were uncertain about their future and cried about it. None of the boys wanted to leave each other. I can totally see Suga being upset or scared over this idea that there might not be a reunion. However, I don't know if this is even in the cards for them to not come back together. The boys all had the opportunity to not renew their contract and go their own separate ways, yet they are choosing not to do that. They want to be together, and I think that should even be reassuring to the fans to see. I think it's very sweet that they all have this bond with each other, which is actually very rare, which is why I think a lot of fans find it hard to believe that the group actually indeed loves each other and wants to do it. A big reason why group members may not want to be a group anymore is because of money, but all the members are making a good amount of money and they enjoy being with each other, which is definitely very big. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks, just leave a comment right here. Love you, bye.